Immortals of Aveum is the upcoming single-player first-person shooter by Electronic Arts and Ascendant Studios, to be released on July 20th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. Why are we doing a preview of this game, you ask? Well, for one, it's one of the only major releases coming out in July that I'm fairly interested in. But secondly, because of the talented development team and the fact that this is a new IP which is always welcomed in the industry, even if it's from a AAA publisher that currently has a poor reputation. We will give our hands-off preview, but keep in mind, we had to learn a whole new world and new characters. So please feel free to jump through the chapter timestamps if you're already familiar with the background story of Aveum. Also, on a quick note, we are only a two-man team here at Top Rated Games and put an incredible amount of time into making these videos. We are passionate about the gaming industry, and if you want to support this channel, we ask that you please subscribe and share with a gamer friend. Ascendant Studios is a relatively new venture founded 4 years prior by Bret Robbins, an esteemed AAA creative director known for his work on acclaimed Call of Duty titles and his involvement with the original Dead Space. Partnering with EA for their inaugural project, Ascendant Studios aimed to create a first-person shooter set in a fantastical world brimming with militaristic elements. Bret Robbins had the presence of former Telltale Games members on his team, which hints this game should have a rich and intricate storyline. Contrary to assumptions, professional actor Darren Barnet landed the role in Immortals of Aveum before his popular involvement in Netflix's Never Have I Ever. Barnet assumes the lead game character role of Jack. With the game's launch approaching, Barnet expressed excitement about witnessing the completed project, noting how surreal it is to see a fully computer-generation version of himself in a game. The main storyline is set by two dominant powers, Rasharn and Lucium, engaging in a fierce struggle for control. Character Jack is the FPS you play, a late bloomer who discovers his extraordinary magical abilities, becoming one of the most potent wielders of magic in the realm. Kevin Barnett describes Jack as a character who rises from humble beginnings, enduring a traumatic experience that bestows upon him magical powers. Jack belongs to an exceptional group known as the Triarchs, capable of manipulating green, red, and blue magic, in stark contrast to the majority who are limited to just one. Jack eventually joins the Order of Immortals in Lucium, dedicating himself to the cause of defeating Rasharn, who seems to be gaining the upper hand in the Everwar. Standing in Jack's path are the formidable adversaries known as the Order of the Masks, an elite strike force led by Sandrek, the tyrant ruler of Rasharn, who has some pretty dark and scary armor design. Throughout the game, the Order of the Masks serves as the primary antagonistic force, and players can expect to face numerous boss enemies from this faction. However, according to Jason Warnke, the lead combat designer, players won't encounter all the members of the Order of the Masks, as the Order is larger than initially anticipated. Quote, "Their identity becomes the masks they wear, and the way their enemies see them is by that title and that mask." David Bogan, the senior art director, reveals that each member of the Order is defined more by their battle skills, magic, and masks than by their individual names. Removing their masks reveals a magical vanishing effect. Facing Sandrak himself in Immortals of Aveum promises to be a formidable challenge, and his power will be felt early in the storyline. Bogan quoted, "When you fight him, you'll feel it. It is bad. It's not even subtle." While playing the role of an agile spellcaster, the gameplay looks smooth by the looks of swift dodges and using your free hand to manipulate enemies. Victory is achieved by harnessing the power of primary colors and swiftly maneuvering through the battlefield to vanquish hordes of enemies in a fantasy setting that includes dragons. By scrolling the mouse wheel within battle, you can switch between color-coded magics, blue for a rifle and snipers, green for an SMG, and red for a shotgun and short-range weapons. There will be no ammo in this game, so when you find your weapon running low, simply press the reload button, and you'll be re-energized back to a full-loaded magazine. Some enemies even possess colored electricity shields, forcing you to adapt your strategy and utilize the appropriate hue. Additionally, you have access to various special spells that can be unlocked and customized as you progress through the game. Some that got to demo the game unlocked a powerful red energy wave capable of dealing significant damage to multiple enemies. Another demo player was able to unlock a blue magic type that will bestow you with two abilities: a whip capable of pulling enemies towards you, and a burst of concentrated energy that you can spam with rapid presses of the R2 button. The game will also feature an extensive gear and skill tree with 80 nodes for crafting, upgrading, and deconstructing. It is tough to tell if some of these magical combat strikes will become repetitive throughout the game, especially if you're used to the classic gunfire combat genre. How fluid the controls and gameplay will feel, we will have to wait to play and decide for ourselves. There seems to be a frenetic look to combat with lots going on, and the abundance of particle effects that could junk up the visuals. Traversing through terrain is something that seems to be unique in this game. Between rock walls that look scalable in most action games, we are unsure how limited these features will be. How agile your character will be with regards to gap jumping and ledge grabbing is tough to tell by the gameplay footage released. Regardless of the gameplay feel, I must give credit to the high-budget cinematic graphics that are simply top-notch Hollywood. The finely detailed graphics of characters and layers of gear are impressive. Ascendant Studios was a perfect choice for a high-budget production like this, crafted by using the cutting-edge Unreal Engine 5. There seems to be a scarcity of first-person action games that rely on mechanics beyond firearms. This is potentially why a AAA publisher like EA decided to focus on this narrative-driven, single-player experience rather than the open-world missions with live service features. Overall, the cinematics are quite impressive, boasting smooth motion capture and finely detailed character models, adorned with layers of gear. The clarity of the cutscenes gives you an immersive feel into this ravaged fantasy world as if you're watching a high-budget movie in the theater. However, there are some valid concerns about the game's storyline and world, giving me concern this game is just not going to catch on fast and ultimately disappoint in sales. Unfortunately, we must always bring up the potential of glitches or bugs we sometimes have become accustomed to when it comes to high-budget AAA publishers. However, no reason to dwell on this yet. Ascendant Studios is still an exceptional indie studio, and the development team is very well respected with prior successful launches. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more highly anticipated game previews.